organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV.
Blackout in Iowa City, thousands affected by the power loss last night across campus.
And tackling a problem head first, how Hawkeye football is addressing the problem of concussions.
And we wrap up our 5-part NFL Combine series in sports.
We have it all at the top of the hour. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning in this evening. I'm Miriam Kone.
And I'm Reed Chandler. Lights turned on today and power restored for thousands of Mid-American Energy customers in Iowa City after a major blackout Wednesday night. 2,500 customers, to be exact, experienced power outages at 11:30 p.m. Over 42,000 customers are served by Mid-American in the Johnson County area alone.
And with every sport, there's always the possibility of injury. And with football in particular, there's a strong likelihood of a concussion when two helmets collide. But the University of Iowa is working to reduce these risks. And Daily Iowan TV reporter Jordan Mickle looks into how the Hawkeyes are handling head injuries.
Concussions. With every play, there's a possibility one can occur when two linemen crash into each other. But the UI Sports Medicine Clinic is making efforts to monitor the hits that can potentially cause these concussions. The UI is partnering with X2 Biosystems, a Seattle-based company that focuses on the impact on an athlete's health. Together, they will equip Hawkeye football players with a sensor to gauge the impact of hits to the head.
These are little mastoid stickers. They stick on the base of the skull that have accelerometers in them, and so they can measure when there's a jarring impact, and they can translate that into G-forces that have been transmitted to the skull.
The university will first use the information from these sensors as research and not an official way to diagnose concussions on the field.
We're not really using these clinically. We're not going to make decisions about whether we should evaluate someone on the sideline, or if someone should come out of the game, or if someone can return to the game based on information from those. It's really trying to identify things that can be evaluated as part of this larger concussion study.
Well, with this new technology, it will only be a matter of time until the UI's football team will be back here at Kinnick Stadium and feel even safer. Jordan Mickle, Daily Iowan TV.
While these sensors could predict patterns at higher risks for head injuries, Dr. Peterson says he isn't sure when the team will use the sensors, but assured it won't replace clinical care.
Your social media profile is meant to represent the real-life you, and now male and female are not the only options offered on one of the most popular social media sites. Facebook recently announced new gender categories like trans female, trans male, and trans person, allowing users of the site to express their own identity more accurately. Roy Salcedo works with the LGBT Resource Center here at the UI, and one project of theirs was to change the signage on bathrooms around campus. There's also a lactation room in the IMU that has been changed to gender neutral because it may exclude certain individuals.
We did that because we understand that there's a need on campus for gender neutral bathrooms.
And for any questions on their integration policies, the LGBT Resource Center is located at 125 Grand Avenue Court across the Iowa River.
Texting behind the wheel just got more risky if you're in Iowa. Lawmakers Thursday morning advanced a bill that would allow law enforcement officials to pull over drivers who are texting while driving. As of right now, police are only allowed to hand out tickets for texting behind the wheel if the driver violated another law in the process. Senate Transportation Committee approved the bill, and now we'll head to the Senate level where it will be debated.
The small northern Iowa town of Northwood was evacuated Thursday morning after a small chemical fire broke loose. Officials say the fire began in a building at a local airport. Volunteers are being applauded for helping evacuate the town, and buses were used to transport the residents to a community center in a nearby town. The clerk of Northwood says there are roughly 250 people at the community center, and they're prepared to stay the night if necessary.
Still on the way, some inspirational music for Black History Month.
And in sports, we break down a top 20 showdown between the Wisconsin Badgers and Iowa Hawkeyes on the hardwood.
But first, let's hand it over to Brandon Bittner in the weather studio for the latest. Brandon?
It's been a wild day today. Only in the Midwest can you experience hail and the need for sunglasses 5 minutes later. I'm here to bring you some good news for this weekend. Tomorrow will be 20 degrees, rising to a pleasant 30 degrees in the afternoon with partly cloudy skies. Friday night will bring us temperatures of 32 degrees. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 23, followed by a high of 22 on Sunday. Next week is looking a bit chilly. Highs will be in the upper teens with a 60% chance of snow on Monday, but we have a chance to see some sun at the end of the week. That's the weather tonight. Enjoy the warm weather for now. Reed and Muriel, back to you.
And in this week's Spotlight Iowa City, we're celebrating Black History Month.
That's right, Muriel. And one local rapper is changing his tune to focus on inspiring those around him. We'll toss it over to the Spotlight set with our own Rebecca Hager for a rundown on the rapper.
Antonio Chalmers is a local celebrity. He goes by Tone DeBoss and began his music career in Cedar Rapids in a party rap group called Big Bang. Now, he's branching out with the goal of shedding light on dreams, goals, and inspiration.
I did it to be different.
Lights,
to inspire people.
camera,
To change their perspective.
Action.
What began as poetry became music.
I wanted to be a singer, but I couldn't sing. So I had to make it work somehow and ended up starting rapping.
And rapping became a way to reach people.
I want to do something more with the music. I don't want to just, be a songwriter or a rapper or anything. I want to actually change someone's life.
This weekend, Tone and his rap group Big Bang filmed his music video for a song called Freedom that released on Martin Luther King Day.
Freedom, it is a song kind of about making people a challenge for them to be better.
The music video features a young man faced with a decision between good and bad. Here's a sneak peek.
Action.
Rise. On behalf of the great state of Mississippi, we find you, Mr. Isaiah Edward Sneed, guilty. We sentence you to life in a federal prison.
Sorry to leave you on that cliffhanger, but I promise that it turns out well for everyone involved. You can follow Tone on Twitter to find out when his music video comes out, and his album does come out this March.
And now for a look at what's happening beyond Iowa. When sitting at church, you don't expect the floor to come crashing down underneath you, but during an evening youth service at one Mississippi church, roughly 70 people came crashing down from the church's second floor. 35 people were injured in the event, but no injuries were fatal.
Unrest and unreal violence out of Ukraine, 100 people killed amidst protests against President Viktor Yanukovych's recent announcement to strengthen ties with Moscow. Protesters believe the president should focus his attention on building stronger ties with the European Union. What began as a peaceful protest in January saw its deadliest day yet, with 500 additional injuries.
And Russian government security attacked the punk music group Pussy Riot during an impromptu performance yesterday. Russian officials used horsewhips to attack the 6 band members when they tried to perform under a sign advertising the Sochi Olympics.
Exciting weekend for the Hawks across the country, Reed.
That's right, Muriel. A lot on tap for our sports staff to get to. And so with that, let's toss it over to Kevin Glick and Taylor Axelson in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio with the latest. Guys?
Thanks, Reed. Kevin Glick and Taylor Axelson welcoming you to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio as we head into another exciting weekend in black and gold athletics.
Iowa Grapplers men's hoops teams both taking on ranked Wisconsin squads in Madison and Iowa City in a few short days. More on that coming later, but we're going to start the program off tonight with the 5th and final day of our NFL Combine Series with senior linebacker James Morris.
That's right, Taylor. No doubt the Hawkeye captain was the heart and soul of Phil Parker's top 10 defense, but will the Solon, Iowa native translate on the next level? Daily Iowan TV Sports' Jalen Sochik has the answer.
Senior inside linebacker James Morris isn't just getting ready for graduation in May. He'll also be one of 5 Hawkeyes traveling to Indianapolis for the 2014 Combine. He joins fellow linebackers Christian Kirksey and Anthony Hitchens. The 6'1", 240-pounder registered 106 tackles, 6 sacks, and 4 interceptions in the season. The only Big Ten player to record at least 90 tackles, 4 sacks, and 4 interceptions. That has put Morris at number 15 at the inside linebackers position on NFLDraftScout.com, and he is projected to be taken in the 7th round. Morris is effective at rushing the passer, stopping the run, and playing pass defense, with many saying Morris was the heart and soul of the 2013 Iowa defense.
The goal is the same every week, really. At the beginning of the season, it's win as many games as we can, play for championships, and if that's ever not on the table, then it's win week by week and just try to build for that next run, whether that's in the postseason or whether that's next year. And that's what we're doing right now. We're just trying to put wins back together and hopefully get this team to a point where maybe it can be remembered for doing something special.
If all 5 Hawkeyes are taken in the draft, this class will be sure to be something to be remembered. Jalen Socek, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Top 5 ranked Iowa wrestlers on the road in Madison over the weekend, looking to clinch a share of the Big Ten regular season title, and we'll have a full breakdown of that coming up on our weekly Mat Side show.
But right now, we're going to wrap up our weekend coverage with Fran McCaffrey, Roy Devin Marble, and the 15th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes looking to make it 3 straight home wins against Bo Ryan and the visiting Badgers, who already have 1 win over the Hawks this campaign.
Both teams have come a long way since that Wisconsin overtime win at the start of conference play, something that the Badgers head coach was more than ready for back in October at Big Ten Media Days in Chicago.
And it is, if it's not the youngest team we've ever had since I've been there, it's close. So we're trying to get old in a hurry. We will play a lot of teams that are used to winning, teams that are used to being on the left-hand side when the score comes out. So you hope that I've always been big on preparing for whatever conference, whatever league I'm coaching in, and get ready for the Big Ten.
And that's not the only thing we have on tap for this weekend. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Rachel Bedell has more on Saturday's showcase in ICIA.
The Hawkeyes will be itching to compete on Saturday after only playing 1 game in the past 2 weeks. Iowa has had 2 back-to-back bye weeks due to their Tuesday night game at Indiana being postponed because of this metal scrap falling in the stadium earlier that day. OK Uka tweeted on Tuesday, Carver Hawkeye Arena not only has an amazing fan base, but also boasts superior architectural durability. Mel Sambasabe also tweeted, on our way back to Iowa City, love you Hawk Nation. Hawk Nation will be glad to have the team back safely in Carver to help them take on the Wisconsin Badgers once again. Wisconsin is coming off of a 4-game win streak and is 4th in the Big Ten with 8 conference wins and 5 losses. After much time off, the Hawkeyes will need to stay focused. However, Iowa has the strongest motivator on their side, revenge. The last time these two played, it was looking promising for Iowa until coach Fran McCaffrey was ejected and the Badgers overcame an 11-point deficit to win 75-71. The Hawkeyes have gone up 7 spots in the AP poll, and the Badgers have dropped 12 since their last face-off, but that won't be enough to satisfy Iowa. Iowa will tip off at 11 on Saturday against Wisconsin in Carver. Rachel Bedell, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have on the program this evening, but check back with us Sunday night for our weekly Courtside show.
And catch DailyIowan.com's webisode Mat Side for one of the state's most extensive Iowa wrestling postgame shows. All of that and more coming up after the weekend, but for now, Reed, Mariel, it's back to you at the desk right after this.
We're bigger, we're deeper, and we're more experienced than we've ever been.
Here's White, ducks it through. Evans gets the step on the drive, score it, and a foul. Now he throws it down. With the play made to Aaron White.
That's all we have for you tonight, but be sure to catch Friday's edition of the Daily Iowan.
Is a flood in our future? Read what officials are saying in terms of Iowa City's flood watch.
And find out why Johnson County supervisors are giving money to an after-school program. Thanks for tuning in this evening. We'll be back at the same time on Sunday, or you can catch us anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Have a great night.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere? I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
SJMC.